Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle, and welcome to my channel. And today, I am so excited. I've been waiting for this for the past 3 or 4 days. We have on the line here, we have Michelle and Woody from the famous Sweating Bullets podcast. I'll tell you what, I was on the bad boy yesterday and just cracking up. And I'll introduce you to Woody. How are you doing, Woody?
Hey, man, what's going on?
And Miss Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
This is exciting. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I don't even know where to start because I'm really kind of new at this. But I do want to first say that for those of you who are just coming on this channel, if you like what you see here, run away. I'm just kidding. No. Like and subscribe and share with your friends. And this channel where we take conservative stuff, movies, culture, and news, and we kind of filter it to the right, kind of give it a right spin. And these guys here kind of do that too, but they take it way less seriously than I do. And so I'm looking forward to having this discussion. So just some back filler here. I was on their podcast a few weeks ago, and we talked about some really serious stuff. And I listened to it. I'm like, man, I don't fit in. I'm just way too technical. So I'm going to give the floor to these guys, but I do want to say one thing real quickly. Woody and Michelle, how did you come up with this podcast, and what is the inspiration?
Well, wow. Okay, so I've been a special guest on a friend of mine's podcast for, I've been doing it with him for years, just about once a month with him. That's QPC's, pardon my language, Kick-Ass podcast. I used to play in a band. I had all the recording equipment already, so I'd been doing it with QPC. And I was like, well, shoot, why not do my own? But I didn't want to do it by myself. I have to have somebody with me to keep the conversation going on. So I asked my friend Michelle, and she was like, sure, why not? We can talk crap for an hour. And then and when she started it, she's like, it's a little bit harder than I thought. But,
well, you need somebody to keep you in line, that's for sure.
Absolutely. But no, we enjoy it. And so far, I think we've got 15 episodes, and we're going to be recording our 16th this week coming up. And hell, we enjoy it. Like to talk a lot of smack, but talk a lot of serious issues also, but put that comedic twist so it's not always serious.
Michelle, you have anything to say on that, or you want to just...
Well, I just want to say that from the beginning of it, Woody loves to talk. Whether anyone's listening or not, he loves to talk. He would talk to a brick wall if he could. So I really think that this is a good forum or outlet for him to be able to talk to people and hope that people listen to him. And I feel like I'm just kind of here to keep him in line and make sure that he uses proper verbiage and grammar.
Well, the other week when we had you on there, we had a blast with that one. Yeah, it was serious, and Michelle got cut off.
Okay, we'll keep going. But when she pops back on, I'll add her back to the stream. And we'll cut that out if you want to.
It's whatever. But it's my cat. She likes to play with my cat, and the cat likes to get in her face. So
Here we go.
Where was I?
Right. Yes, you're talking about the last time I was on the
we were talking about the what would happen if we had a openly gay president.
Correct.
And actually, I enjoyed that episode. I thought it went real well. But I like to have serious conversations, but I don't like to get too serious with it. I just like to have fun with it, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things. Since Michelle's back, I want to just go back to what she said about keeping you in line. And that kind of goes into what I was talking about with you off camera, Michelle, before you got on, was that I really, really enjoyed. Now, I'm not just blowing smoke, okay? I really, really enjoyed that last podcast. And I think your chemistry between the two of you really what makes it work. I mean, I was telling him, like, in the old days of vaudeville, I'm a kind of movie historian, whatever. The old, I guess is the straight man and the comic relief. And you got it down perfect. So
So which one's the straight man and which one's the comic relief?
Ah.
Uh-oh.
That could be offensive, so I don't want to say that.
Michelle's the comic relief.
The fake man, then I'm in trouble, right? If I call you the comic relief, then I'm in trouble. So I can't win there.
That's a no-go. Like when your wife says, "How do I look in this outfit?"
Yes.
It's like, you look beautiful.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's a brown sack. You look beautiful.
That's great. So with your podcast, I know that you guys are kind of have a conservative tilt to it, but at the same time, you keep it kind of loose. Do you guys do anything like with collaborating with other YouTubers or any other podcasters across the gamut?
Not yet. You're the first YouTube channel we've done so far, so you're popping our cherry.
Come on now, keep it PG.
This is a new experience for me. I mean, I'm still learning this whole thing. I spent the past 72 hours putting together a 12-minute video, editing it, and it's kicking my butt, I'll tell you. And it's going to come tonight, but hell of high water. But it may take 12 hours to render it, so we'll see what happens.
You see, that's the one thing I like about the podcast that we do. It's very little editing. Like, basically, when I bounce everything down, I'm trying to get the sound balanced, to get the sound right. And then once I got that right, I bounced it down, and that's all she wrote. Now, if I say or have said something during the podcast that I definitely should not say to other people, I may go back and edit that out, which right. I did. I had that happen on, I forget which episode it was, but it was like, F the sperm donors, basically. But that one I said something I shouldn't have said, and that could have been used against me in court. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of open yourself up a little bit on some of this stuff. As long as you say the word alleged, you're pretty much good.
Well, he doesn't censor very much.
That's probably why I don't do a YouTube channel.
YouTube is tough, man. YouTube is frustrating, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like it changes all the time. The algorithm's hard to get. It's hard to get, put up there when you get distributed out. When the algorithm figures out who to propagate your stuff to, it's challenging. But you got to do it because you like it, And whoever, if they build it, they'll come. And that's kind of the attitude you got to have.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think we've got 15 episodes and we've had 2,000 downloads so far.
2,000, that's incredible.
So I thought we've been doing it since September. So I think that's pretty amazing, I guess.
That's pretty amazing.
I don't know what that means. And I haven't gotten anybody asking me for sponsors or anything, but other than that, that's all I got.
I subscribe to you on my Google. You're actually on Google Music too.
Should be on.
You are. I paid for that, and I downloaded it. So yeah, you are. If you didn't know you weren't, you are.
Okay. So I know I'm on. I'm on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, PodoMatic, and Google Play. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on all that.
I was happy to see that because I paid for that. So I paid for YouTube Red, so I don't have to worry about those commercials. I hate the commercials.
I do too.
But anyway, I want to get into this discussion, man. I really am excited about this topic, And this is when I saw episode 15, I was impressed, right? So you have an analogy, which I actually took notes on my cell phone here.
Wow.
And, I'm going to pull them up real quick. And
this is a big time, Woody. Somebody took notes when you talk.
No kidding. Here's my note.
I'm not even going to say what it is. I want you to go ahead and discuss it. You take as much time as you need. And if you want to reformulate it, whatever, no pressure. But I will set it up, though. This is about the impeachment hearings and this whole thing with Trump and I'll leave it at that. So, okay. Woody, Michelle, the floor is yours.
Okay. So basically, I use the analogy that Trump is playing chess with this impeachment deal. So if you take a chessboard, You got the king, queen, bishop, knight, rook, pawns, all that good stuff. Well, the whole time Trump is playing chess, the Democrats, they're playing checkers because their moves are predictable. We know what they're going to do. So lay it all out. Trump's the king. Rudy Giuliani's the queen. The bishop is Mike Pence. Attorney General William Barr is the knight. I wrote down the Secretary of State is Mike Pompeo. The pawns is the House Committee.
Now, wait a minute. You said the Secretary of State is Mike Pompeo. What position is he on the chessboard?
He's the rook.
Ah, okay. I missed that part.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. So anyway, so we know in July Trump made I gotta take this out of my ears. Trump made a phone call to the Ukrainians, and he claims it's the perfect phone call. Well, the reason I think it was the perfect phone call is because this was the setup of his chessboard, if you will. He put a phone call out there strategically because he knew it would get back to the Democrats and they would start up impeachment hearings or an investigation, another one on them. And so he done this, in my opinion, to basically drain the swamp. That's what we elected him to do, and that's what I think he's doing. So we knew the Democrats would jump on this. They would investigate it, and they would impeach him. Well, that's all fine and good. Once it goes to the House, that's when everything comes out at that point. That's when all the work that Rudy Giuliani's been working on investigating with the Russia collusion and everything he's found out with the Democrats in Ukraine. That's when all this mess comes out. So this week coming up, we know that the Democrats are going to impeach him in the House. They've got the numbers. They're going to do it, even though they don't have any evidence whatsoever to support their case. But they're still going to impeach him. But then, come January, it's going to be in the Senate. The Senate is going to be investigating Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and probably James Comey now. That name's been popping up here lately in the news. So all these people, I think, are going to be coming out here in the Senate before too long. So that's my theory of it.
Yeah, that's good. So just to recap here, so it sounds like that because the words that Trump used of it being a perfect call
is a perfect
your theory is that basically he's allowing himself to take one for the team to allow himself to drain the swamp because a lot of people have thought this too, that there's this whole, I'm not sure if you're into the Q conspiracy or the Q talking. I'm not sure really what it is, but I've really been.
I heard of it.
It's essentially, well, I don't want to get that's a big rabbit to get into. People have been talking about the possibility that there's something bigger at play here, and that the whole thing is that there's an element, both Democrat and Republican, in the military at the highest levels of office, who basically disseminating information and misinformation too, to bring out people, to expose leaks and so forth, to allow them to hang themselves so that this deep state swamp corruption can be exposed.
Oh, absolutely. So, okay, I'm right on board with that then.
Yeah.
All right. What's that called so I can look that up myself?
It's called QAnon. QAnon. QAnonymous. And there's a ton of stuff. There's actually a good documentary. It's about 30 minutes long. It kind of goes through the whole thing. And like I said, it's a bipartisan thing. It's not like it's like people who are like, for instance, the whole thing with James Comey. And by the way, there's two parts to your thing that I'm going to get to. Since it is Christmas, I'm really looking forward to that one. But before we get to the second part of your analogy, the whole thing with oh my gosh, I forgot what I was like. I just forgot what I was saying.
You need a co-host also.
You said something about Comey.
Comey, yes. Okay, thank you so much, Michelle. You know what?
You're welcome.
Comey, that the whole thing with the whole investigation with Hillary Clinton. The reason why the last 2 weeks before the election, he came out and they opened the case up again because of that. I guess they said they found some emails on on Aberdeen's husband, Wiener.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing. That the reason why that came out was because there was a FBI intelligence agent out in the field who were going to go public if he didn't do something about it. Because the FBI and the Justice Department is underneath, the head of the Justice Department. They have to be in step. But the people in the field agencies, the FBI, they're more autonomous. And there's those people out there who are saying, "Look, this is horrible. You're making the FBI look horrible. This is not good, and we want to do something about it." And so they put pressure on Comey to come forth. And Comey did it because he felt it wouldn't matter anyway, because she was going to win. So he felt, who cares? I'll do it and then undo it. She screwed up, but she didn't really screw up.
Yeah. That whole ordeal was a trip. Like, back during that election, I don't think anybody expected Trump to win. I didn't even expect him to win. Now, I voted for him, but I wasn't feeling Trump. You know what I mean? I wasn't 100% on the Trump train.
He was the lesser of two evils. I mean, really.
Right. A lot of people were.
Exactly. So, I mean, now that being said, throughout his presidency so far, I've been pulling for Trump, but I haven't been 100% gung ho for Trump because he says some dumb crap on the internet. However, since this impeachment debacle, I'm 100% go Trump now. So you got my Trump hat on. We're trumping it out over here.
Yeah, it's funny how a lot of people were like, they're on the fence with Trump, but now they're like, on board because they're just pissed off,
Yeah, it's ridiculous with all of this. For 2.5 years, we dealt with nothing but Russia. And come to find out there's no evidence that Trump colluded with Russia, but we got instruction. That's a bunch of BS. And then now, with this Ukraine ordeal, we're going to impeach him. And if you remember back in 2016, the day after he was elected, they were on CNN and NBC, we're going to impeach him. And it's like, for what? He hadn't even been sworn in yet, but you're going to impeach him. And just that whole craziness with the left is driving me nuts. And
well, the whole thing is a farce. I mean, it really is. They're grasping at straws, even though they banned straws, which is ridiculous. But, if it was a plausible reason, if they had any kind of a case whatsoever, I think that the American public would be much more in tune with what they're trying to do. But it's all just a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and it's not even a good soap opera. I mean, I really and truly don't see how you guys end up staying so deep in all of this information. It is no secret on our podcast that I am not very political. I don't know who half of the people are that you named in your analogy there. However, I think that what they are trying to do to this man is ridiculous. I mean, they're parading him around, grasping at straws, trying to come up with different things that are wrong. When you're trying to find something, there's no words.
It should really scare us all.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, let's take the whole quid pro quo ordeal. All right, so we had the perfect phone call. You can make an argument that he was pushing Ukraine for something. What it was, other than I need a favor and look into the 2016 elections, which is a theory that I think Rudy Giuliani has told Trump, but that Ukraine had meddled with the 2016 elections. God, I can hear myself echo here, so it's driving me nuts. Where was I? Losing my train of thought here. Okay, so quid pro quo. That's what the first thing the Democrats used was quid pro quo, and then you have video evidence of Joe Biden making a quid pro quo. It's like, I told him I've got a billion reasons why you should fire this prosecutor. A billion. You've got 6 hours to comply, or I'm taking my $1 billion with me. Call Obama if you don't think you have the authority to do it. And son of a bitch, they did it. They fired him.
Yep.
So that's a quid pro quo, but none of the Democrats are talking about that. And that's one thing that's driving me nuts, where Trump has been scheming and watching what he says, putting certain words in place to get his point across without coming out directly and saying, giving basically a quid pro quo. And the way I view it is, yeah, he was given a quid pro quo to investigate our elections. To me, in my opinion, that is exactly what he's there for, is to weed out the corruption before we give them aid. You know what I mean? If there's corruption there, if they were meddling with our elections, we should know about it as the American people before we give them aid, if they were messing with us. And I think there's been evidence to put that out there, or to say just that, is that they were meddling with our election.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine, he was brought on there to end corruption. And in I believe it was 94, is that right? Bill Clinton signed a treaty with Ukraine to cooperate with that country to help end corruption, to allow the two leaders to talk to that point. And so Trump had every right to make that phone call, and he had the right to actually, to do that. And, the whole thing with the quid pro quo simply is something for nothing. And with, like you said, there's a video, Joe Biden, who basically says, you know what, my son's being investigated, fire that prosecutor, I'm holding the money.
Right. But
but it's okay for him.
Exactly. Well, if you take in, what was it, the dossier, the Christopher Steele dossier, that was bought and paid for by the DNC, by Hillary Clinton. Yep. That in itself is colluding with a foreign nation to find dirt on your party, or find dirt on Trump. So exactly what they've been accusing him
on your opposition.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Opposition. But exactly what they've been accusing Trump of doing with colluding with Russia, that's what the DNC's been doing. But nobody's talking about that. And that crap like that was driving me nuts. It's like, they're guilty of doing it. Here's the evidence. My little pea brain has seen enough evidence to suggest that Hillary Clinton ought to be in jail, but I guess if she gets put in jail, they all go down.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Sorry.
So I'm gonna pull something up real quick here.
Michelle's using her Harry Potter.
It's ridiculous.
Swishing for.
Hold on. Check this out. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's in case y'all want to know, that's Real Clear Politics. You can go check out yourself. Right? I mean, it's right out there for everybody to see. And it's like, come on, guys.
And that right there is what drives me nuts about it. Okay, Trump is not an angel by becoming a multi-billionaire by not breaking. Hold on a sec. Okay, that's something else. All right. Trump's not an angel. We know that. You don't become a billionaire for being an angel. But I don't think he's this demon guy that all your Democrats and your progressives make him out to be either. Yeah, he's probably broken the law. Of course he has. We all have. But
I think it's way more ethical than people give credit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I don't think
I watched
it either.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say that either. But by no means. But yeah, I could go on for an hour talking about Trump, how much I like him. So I won't do that. But I'll go say fanboy, and I'll bore you guys to death. But I've done our research.
Oh no, you're fine, man.
Yeah. So So yeah, so
he's done. I mean, from what I'm seeing, like especially with the Ukraine and especially with this impeachment, he's taken one for the team. So he's able to get Rudy Giuliani up in front of the Senate, and I hope that Rudy will put out all of his work that he's done, investigated, and get a lot of people thrown out of Congress and put in jail, hopefully. I mean, he was the one that took down the mob out in New York City. So, I mean, he's capable of doing investigation work.
Sure. Brave.
So, yeah, no kidding.
And that's why he's out there. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I was listening.
The Gambino crime family, man, he
you take, I watched an episode with him on Glenn Beck the other night, and, you know, on CNN and NBC, when they've interviewed him, everybody's thinking he's nutty, he's lost his mind. But when he was on with Glenn Beck and he actually had 30 or 45 minutes to actually talk about what he had, he was finally making sense. And from that episode, that's when I pretty much laid out, Trump is playing chess. This is what's going on. That's when I started putting out my chess analogy, putting that together. So, I was listening to, you ever heard of, Chad Prather?
I have.
Or I was listening to his podcast. Now, he done, a 3-part episode on Jeffrey Epstein. And basically he laid it out. He used chess as an analogy, and I thought that was brilliant. And that's when, so basically I stole that from Chad to use chess to use chess to break out the impeachment.
So no, you didn't steal it from him because he was talking about Epstein, right? So right. You used it as inspiration for your own
my
idea?
Own theory. Yes.
Okay, there's a big difference there.
Yeah, he used Epstein in chess, and I used Trump in chess.
Well, Steve Jobs is my secular idol, and he said, "Great artists steal." Well, everything Apple had, he stole.
Oh yeah. Well, Apple,
but he made it better. So.
I think it was wasn't he the one that stole basically Microsoft's image when he come up with Macintosh, that whole platform, the Windows platform? He had basically stole that and used it on Macintosh, or is that backwards?
Yeah. So he beat Microsoft. He beat Microsoft to the punch. So essentially, what happened was Xerox was afraid of. They were afraid of being taken out by the paperless society. So they took their Altair Park research park development team in bean bags and ping pong tables, whatever. Say, I don't care what you guys do something, come up with a solution for this. So they go out and come back with this, I guess 8x11 screen with a mouse and it's graphic oriented, all this stuff, mouse click, whatever. And this is the day when everything was done through, the command prompt, right? And so It was just a research thing, and it could do printing, had PostScript printing, and so these idiots gave Steve Jobs a demo. That's all it took. And they had this language called Smalltalk. He brought Smalltalk in, got some developers, created the Lisa, which is the precursor to the Mac. And then of course, well, I can go on and on, but then Jobs came and said, then Bill Gates basically took that from, what you're talking about. He took that design from him and he was pissed. But Bill Gates was like, look, dude, you took it from Xerox. I took it from you. Chill.
Turnabout's fair play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how that's the reason I got my analogy like that. And when before I put it on the podcast, I mentioned it to my wife. I was like, yeah, Trump's the king in this. It's just like, snowflakes are going to melt if you put Trump as a king.
Well, Rudy's the queen.
Yeah.
Rudy's the queen. And there's some basis for that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like with chess, the queen can basically do anything she wants. She can move forward and back, left and right, in a diagonal, whatever she needs to do for the betterment of society. Now, with Trump being a regular plain Jane citizen in the U.S., he's able to get in places where our U.S. officials would not be able to get into. So that's what makes him a queen in this analogy. So now, of course, I don't know.
You got me detailed. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I was putting my notes up here again.
Okay. Now, do you want to get on the second part of that?
Yes, I was gonna wait. I was gonna let you finish up on that.
Okay.
So yeah.
So my wife said I was crazy to put Trump as the king. Snowflakes are going to melt. Your progressive left, they're going to have a meltdown. So I said, okay, well, let's make Trump the bad guy hero. So
anti-hero.
The bad guy hero. So I took Die Hard, the original from 1984?
Nine.
Okay, 89. So
a beautiful Christmas movie.
Yes, absolutely. So in my analogy with Die Hard, John McClane is a nobody. He's kind of irrelevant in this analogy. Hans Gruber. Gosh, sorry. Hans Gruber. Now, what is he? He's the bad guy, but he is a schemer. He's always thinking ahead. He's putting all the pieces together to make this massive steal, if you will. Now, in the movie Die Hard, the Nakatomi Plaza has a safe that has the 8-part lock or 7-part lock that they have to drill with a electromagnetic force field, if you will, as the last lock. So this safe, in my analogy here, holds all the evidence that the Democrats are hiding. And that's the crap that Rudy Giuliani's been looking into, trying to find all the evidence. Well, he's figured out it's in the safe. So Trump, being Hans Gruber, he's been scheming this plan for months and months and months, and now has it figured out. He's got the House Democrats. They're the LAPD because they're just goofing off doing what they're doing outside the plaza, just putting a curveball in his plans, if you will. So once the Senate gets to the thing, the Senate's the FBI in this case. The FBI shuts down the electricity going to the Nakatomi Plaza, ultimately taking down the electromagnetic force field around this last lock. So now the Senate has taken down the last lock. The doors are open to the safe, and now all the evidence is spewing out on the of everything that Rudy Giuliani's pretty much gotten from all of his research he's been doing, all of his investigation he's been doing.
All those German bearer bonds.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So are you trying to make Trump into a martyr since Hans gets knocked off of the tower and dies?
Well, in my analogy, Hans is not going to fall out of the 30th floor window.
Well, does he get arrested? I mean,
No,
where does it go?
That's going to be the LAPD because they're crooked.
Okay, so he'll be redeemed.
Exactly.
When all is said and done. Okay.
Exactly. Once the smoke clears.
Yeah, that's a good analogy too. I mean, especially with the safe, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and of course it was everywhere when it blew up. When they blew up the towers, like all that money flying everywhere. So that's kind of like the truth flying out everywhere, and everybody can get to it.
Exactly. Once everything settles, Trump will be president in 2020.
Yeah, he's in good shape politically. I mean, I think they have to take him out. I mean, I'm only worried about a situation where there's some coup going on where they got some senators that are trying to be underhanded. But if that were to happen, they're basically making Trump into a martyr. But can you imagine? Can you imagine a deposed Trump with nothing to worry about? Now he's sitting in Trump Tower. He can say what he wants. The Republican Party would totally be destroyed. So whoever wins this battle, the losing battle the losing party is going to be destroyed.
Yes.
If somehow they were able to get him out of there, the Republican Party is gone. It's destroyed. If the Democrats don't get him out, which they won't get him out, I don't believe, in 2020, then they're destroyed. They would have been destroyed in 2018 if we were able to get the House and the Senate. They would have been done then, but they're in their last breath of life.
Yeah. And now I think, especially with this impeachment deal, I see the Republican Party finally being united. Finally. It just took an impeachment to do it. Problem is once Rudy Giuliani, if they actually have him testify during the Senate trial, the problem's going to be is how many Republicans are going to be going down when he unveils his investigation.
Yep.
Because, I think it wasn't it John McCain who started the Christopher Steele dossier? Wasn't he the one that originally started that?
Supposedly he turned it over. I don't know how much he knew about it going into it, but who knows? They do know that he was the one that actually passed it on to, I'm not sure what committee.
I think it was the DNC after that. Once that went down, I think it was the DNC. And that's when, of course, Hillary got into it, the Fusion GPS. I think they were funneling money through there. Is that correct?
Yes, well, I believe so. Yeah, so the Clinton Foundation was what they were using as a segue into that, and Fusion GPS was the consulting company which had the server.
Right.
And so that was all tied in. It's so integrated, man, because like you got the whole thing with Haitian thing going on, you got the whole thing with Ukraine, you got thing with Pelosi involved with Ukraine. So basically, Burisma, the power company, essentially they're essentially a black hole. And
yes.
I watched that video by you just mentioned his name, Beck. He did a 20-minute video and he did like an hour and a half long video.
Yeah.
I did the video, and that in of itself was insane.
When he pulled out his chalkboard and started putting everybody in the place, and
it was crazy. How the one guy didn't have a passport, he was extradited out of the country, and then all of a sudden they brought him back in and gave him everything back, and then he happens to be the owner of the bank that took the money from, because Biden was put on the committee because he was in the White House. He was the put person to Ukraine, flew back 7 times, and then all of a sudden within a week his son's on the board, and the other guys on the board, golfing buddies. It's just crazy.
And you see these movies where, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good one to use here, but you see these movies where you got these schemes that are going on, and towards the end is when you finally get everything come to light that this person was paying this person, paying this person, paying that person, and all to get this money funneled in to whatever committee they were messing with. My point is essentially that's ultimately what this looks like, is a movie basically, where they're using Burisma to funnel money in and out and launder money basically.
Yeah.
And from what I understand with that episode, Glenn, what you were talking about with Glenn Beck, that's all his evidence, all his research was based off of news articles. He got like Politico and Times News, and they're putting all these pieces together based off of what the news has put out there.
That's crazy.
And so what's unbelievable to me, I mean, this ain't stuff that he was making up or he typed in Hunter Biden on the internet and figured out he was working for this person, that person, and that person. This was news outlets is where they got all their information to put their blackboard together. And
so Michelle, I want to kind of bring you. I want to kind of bring you in this conversation. I know you're not too in depth in what's going on, all this stuff, but let me ask you this simple question: if you're a person looking outside in, you heard Burisma stuff doesn't mean anything, but what if I told you that there's a company that doesn't report anything? It's not required to do any. It's a public company. It's not required to give any tax standings, any quarterly earnings statements. Only thing they do is give out a summary of what they did that particular quarter. What do you think about that in terms of a company being allowed to do that?
Okay, so let me make sure I understand correctly. So it's a company that I'm guessing makes a product or sells something that makes some type of profit, and the only thing that they are releasing is their quarterly earnings. They don't release anything else?
No, not even that. They're releasing a summary of a couple of paragraphs of what they're doing. There's no statements, there's no Excel spreadsheets, nothing.
And they don't file taxes?
Well, this is a German company. I'm not sure how that works. I guess they have to do that.
Okay. I'm sorry. I can't just answer the question. I have to ask follow-up questions.
Well, what I'm asking is, does that sound suspicious?
On the face, yes. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that there couldn't be some type of allowance or explanation, especially since you mentioned that it was a German company. You know, perhaps they had other rules there. But it's sort of my belief that if you have nothing to hide, then there's no reason not to put things out there. However, you know, there are some things that are none of anyone's business either. So, you know, it's sort of a catch-22.
Yeah.
That was not the answer you were looking for, was it?
No.
That's okay. Thank you for being honest with me.
It was a fair answer because it's a German company. So yeah, you raised an issue that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, you're right. German company. I don't know much about that, but if it was an American company, you know, the SEC would be all over that.
Right. I mean, especially if it was publicly traded, you know, if the company was not privately owned, you would need to know what's going into it, what's coming out of it, and make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, I don't know if Burisma is public or not. That would be a good point to look at.
I don't either.
So
I know. Sorry.
So Burisma is a German company.
Yes.
Because you're right. I'm sitting over here and I don't have a clue what it is.
I was trying to do a little deep dive conspiracy here, but that's fine. But because Glenn Beck brought it up, brought it up, and he kind of tossed it out. He didn't really stick on that subject. He just kind of just mentioned it and went on. So.
Well, and you can ask Woody. I'm really good at shooting things all to heck. So.
That's why you have a Bible podcast, because you will do things that are the right way to do it. You won't waste time on things that aren't going to, move you forward.
Very true. And Woody does waste quite a bit of time on things such as that. But like I said before, he really loves to hear himself talk. So I'm content to just let him speak and, put my 2 cents in. I'm actually sitting over here listening to you guys speak. I am paying attention, but I just keep seeing Hans Gruber in my head falling off of Nakatomi Plaza. And
now, do you see him falling in slow motion, or is it real quick?
Oh, he's completely in slow motion. However, he doesn't look like the Hans Gruber from the movie. He has on a black cloak and he has black hair and he's falling and he's saying, "Turn to page 394.
Wow. You just brought Die Hard and Harry Potter together.
I did.
Alan
But Alan Rickman was a fantastic actor. He could do many varied roles.
I'm surprised you didn't bring the Sheriff of Nottingham.
He made that movie.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Which one, Die Hard or Harry Potter?
Both of them.
I never saw Harry Potter. I saw the first one.
Oh, shame. Shame.
Wow. Okay. Can't use your analogy anymore, Michelle.
That's okay. I don't hate. I appreciate anything that is fiction or fantasy, and Kyle, if you haven't watched that, that's okay. I've watched it enough for the both of us.
I watched the first one. It kind of creeped me out.
Creeped you
Yeah.
out.
Well, I didn't have much of a desire to watch any of them, and as a matter of fact, I think it was Woody. I had come over one day unannounced. I don't usually do that, and he was sitting down watching this movie, and I didn't really have anywhere to be. I was dropping something off, and so I sat down and started watching it. I'm like, "What is this junk?" And he's like, "Oh, it's Harry Potter." And I'm like, "You're watching a children's show?" And He's like, no, it's cool. Just watch, and then the rest is history, as they say.
No, she's a bigger fan than I am. Yeah.
Woody, have you seen them?
Yes, I've seen them all.
Okay.
I was forced into it by my wife and Michelle. I've even had to see Pitch Perfect because of them two. Yeah.
I heard that was good. I heard that was good.
It's not. There's nothing good about it.
Okay.
The second
Harry
one was
Potter's
a little
not
rough.
bad. But no, they drugged me to a movie theater to watch Pitch Perfect.
Oh, that's different.
2 or 3. So I'm like,
It was 2.
they're like, oh, it's got women in it. I'm like, women? Yes, I like women. Let's go watch it. 10 minutes in, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? I paid $10.50 to sit here and get exploited. Oh my God. I definitely lost my man card that night.
Was it abusive to men, or was it just corny, or what?
It's abusive to men. It's just
No, it is not. It's a cappella, and he felt threatened.
Gosh, it was bad. It was bad.
It wasn't the original. It was the second one.
So I've never.
They're making a lot of money.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen the first one, and they're like, "Oh, it's a great movie. It's got a bunch of women in it." I'm like, "Women sounds good." No, it's a. If
Musical?
you're a dude, you automatically lose 10 points on your man card right off the bat.
I think for me, going to the theater would be the hardest thing about it. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Are you not a people person, antisocial type?
Well, I don't want to go to the theater and see a movie like that. I want to see a movie with bang, boom, explosions, and THX, all that stuff.
Yes, like Star Wars that's coming out this Friday.
Yes.
The Rise of Skywalker.
You guys gonna see that first run, or are you gonna wait?
We're probably going Saturday, I think it is.
Okay.
I'm taking.
I want to go.
Well, you're welcome to come. It'll be me and my entire family, basically.
Can I bring Lexi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the review should come out soon.
Do what?
The review should come out in a few days.
I don't want to.
When do they see it? Like, do they see it the day before or a week before? Or
there's an embargo, so they're gonna wait till that happens.
I'm not going to watch the reviews until I see it first. Then I'll watch the reviews.
Probably a good idea.
Because it never fails. Every time a critic sees a movie, they'll trash it, and then I'll see the movie, and I'm like, the movie was great. What's the problem? I like the movie.
You got a 0 on the tomato meter.
Oh man, Rotten Tomatoes is really gone. They're not credible anymore. They're not. They're shilling for the other big companies. So you gotta it's best just not even watch those reviews. Just like you said, just go ahead and check it out for yourself.
Yes. I just like the movie Exit Wounds. It was a Steven Seagal movie.
Oh yeah.
And the critics just hammered that movie into the dirt. I thought it wasn't a bad movie personally. I mean, hell, I've watched it multiple times. I wouldn't go to a movie theater to see it, but it wasn't a bad movie. It had who was it? It was DMX, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, when I watch a movie, I don't watch it for the lack of acting, or I like to be entertained. I watch a movie, and if it's got a good storyline, decent plot, as long as the acting isn't terrible. Like, we watched a movie the other day. What was it? I forget what it was. Oh, Friday the 13th. The original Friday the 13th.
That's pretty good, actually.
But the acting is just over the top.
Oh yeah.
Even my kids were like,
"Oh yeah,
this is scary. This is what y'all consider scary." Back over Halloween, we were watching The Exorcist. My kids were laughing at it. I'm like, dude, what? People were committing suicide when this movie come out, and y'all are laughing at this crap. What is wrong with y'all?
Didn't your mother say something to you about that too? About letting your children watch that horrible movie?
Yes, but there are movies I will not let them watch. Like my youngest son's dying to see Jigsaw or Saw movies.
Yeah.
I'm not letting him watch that yet. He's not there yet.
I saw the first one. That was about it.
I've saw the first 3, and that was about it for me.
Yeah, they were a little much.
I'm not really a horror person.
See, I love my horror movies.
So what's your favorite horror movie so far?
Ooh, favorite horror.
Tough question, probably.
It is.
Wasn't that within the last 10 years?
Oh no. Probably Poltergeist, the original. It's probably one of my favorite horror movies.
That's a great movie.
And reason being, I saw that when I was young, like 6, 7 years old.
Yeah, me too.
It scared the bejesus out of me.
And nobody died in the movie. Everybody died in real life.
Carolyn.
But that's probably definitely hands down probably one of my favorite horror movies. It was very well done, and like me, I'm not real big on the slasher films. I like the creepy, demonic, or ghostly type movies.
What, like Annabelle?
Yeah, or The Conjuring, if you will.
Ugh.
That's the whole franchise now. That's the whole cinematic universe now.
Yeah, but I don't know, the whole ghost movies. I've always enjoyed those, or
like animated horror.
Yeah,
that scared the crap out of me growing up. It did. The house is crazy. Those kids singing. La 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 la
la. Which is like Nightmare on Elm Street. You got the little girls. 1, 2, Freddy.
Exactly.
Oh God, we're going to die.
Or The Shining, that kid on the bicycle or the tricycle.
Oh gosh. Red Rob.
Perfect example. The movie It. All right, the original I've never cared for. I thought it was kind of boring. You know, it was just they drug the movie out too long. The new one I thought was excellent. You know, they had some good scares in it, and the makeup and the acting I thought was pretty good in that one.
You want to talk about long-winded? That book is over 1,000 pages long.
That's why I don't read. That's your job, not mine.
So I read that entire book, and it was great with all the detail, but it was way too detailed.
What really about that? Was. There's something that they don't talk about on TV anymore because hashtag #MeToo movement. I had to actually Google it and actually had to infer what actually happened. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, I know what you're talking about.
Wow.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I that was actually, I'll be completely honest, that is exactly why I read the book, to see if it was actually as bad as people say that it was. And although it was really, really outside of the box thinking, I mean, like way outside of the box, borderline, terrible, I kind of see where the author was coming from with it, that there was some kind of a connection that was needed and it, needed to bring everybody mentally back together. Because although you guys have probably seen the movies for it.
I haven't seen it now.
Okay.
You haven't seen it?
The old one or the new one, neither one really portrays the ending scenes like the book did. And not just that one controversial scene, but the whole ending. It's like it's so big. There's no way that they could put it on a screen to make anyone understand it.
It's crazy how you can write that much stuff, man. That's amazing how you can write a book that big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was back when
I had no idea how Stephen King does it.
He was on crack back then.
He said he was like on some kind of drug when he did that. So
yeah, I think it was.
Oh no, that makes sense.
Something. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how he got so far out in left field. He was already there. It was chemically induced.
That's how most of your artists do crap. I mean, you look at music same way. The Rolling Stones or Pink Floyd, if they weren't tripping balls acid, they wouldn't have wrote half the crap that they wrote. Yes, that's what I'm saying. They wrote it probably when they were at the peak of their trip.
I mean, they were really like experimental. I mean, they weren't as bad as Queen, but they were really ahead of the time.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
And so was The Cure too.
The Cure. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they were pop. They were punk before punk was really that. Because punk back then in the 60s and 70s, they were like, though you would die, like, they're kind of like the mellow. They had the mellow punk, It's like, so
yeah.
So anyway, he played in the band. So what did you play in the band? Were you a guitar, bass, or
I was a wannabe guitarist.
a lead, or were you a rhythm guitar, or where were you?
Wannabe lead.
Okay.
Oh, quit saying wannabe. You were good.
I was never good. I was
Guitar's tough, man.
No, what it does, it gets elevates your, how do I say this? Your woman game, if you will. Because women like the guitarist.
I thought it was a drummer. I guess.
No. Name one drummer.
I don't know.
Nobody knows. Flea, he's a bass player. See?
So wait a minute, Woody. If this
Carter
whole
Buford, Dave Matthews Band.
See,
Dave
Matthews sucks.
if being a guitarist ups your woman game, and I happen to know for a fact that you have been with your woman since like 19 something.
I'm going to plead the fifth now before you get too much further in your statement.
How did that work out that you upped your woman game when you already had a woman? Do I need to go have a talk with your wife?
Nope, you don't. Anyway, so how you been doing there, Kyle?
Going pretty good. My Redskins lost, my fantasy team lost, and I'm done.
Well, I could have told you the Redskins was going to lose.
And they were leading with like 2 minutes left, and they ended up losing by 10. How's that happen? How you up by 3 at 2 minutes and lose by 10?
Wow.
I wonder where the Cowboys ended up. Weren't they up earlier?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was watching my computer screen all day, so.
I'm going to pull it up on my phone real quick. Let's see.
So yeah, I'm not sure how long we've been on, but
57 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, I usually go about an hour. I'm not like you guys. I can't.
My Cowboys won. Ha ha.
Did you play?
44-21.
Wow, who'd you play?
Rams.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think the Cowboys, if they get their act together, they have all the talent to do it. They have all the talent,
If they get their crap together, exactly.
No excuse, man.
Exactly.
So we'll see, but I'll tell you, man.
Them and Panthers.
The Panthers?
Yeah. They get their crap together. They actually do something. But I don't watch enough to really get in detail with either team. So I just see, Cowboys won. Cowboys were lost again. Yay. I used to keep up with it more, but I don't really have all the time.
Yeah, I don't care as much anymore with the free agency. Who cares?
And especially with kneeling and stuff they started a couple years ago.
Yep.
Like, as much money as you're making, I don't want to hear a damn thing political you got to say.
Exactly. Exactly. I'll tell you one thing. I am a season ticket holder of the XFL DC Defenders.
Okay. So
it was $200 for 2 tickets for all season.
What's the XFL?
It's they're relaunching it from Vince McMahon, the WWE.
Oh, damn.
So basically, you got 10 teams, and they're going to be in big markets like Tampa and DC and New York and LA.
Because they launched that 22 years ago?
Yep.
20-something years ago? Damn.
Yep. They got a lot of money this time around. They got all the sponsors and TV stuff, so it's going to be more family friendly. No kneeling and that stuff. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's something to do. I could hang out with my son. I could drive to DC 5 weekends next year. I'm
Wow.
from DC, so my parents live there, so I can just stay at the house.
I've been there. That's where I got my hat from.
You Dallas hat?
No, I'm a
Trump hat.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to tell you my story about me up there at the Trump rally about 2 months ago. My MAGA hat. I was nervous, man. I got the middle finger once.
I like that.
I was in the subway about to leave. The entire day was great. I met like 5 people told me, I like your hat, man. I like your hat. One black guy who's a worker on the metro tapped me on the shoulder and was like, yo, man, I like your hat, man. Like, wow, this is pretty cool. So people in the down low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next thing I know, I'm on the subway about to head back. I hear this. Got some guy on the subway outside give me the middle finger. Seriously?
Wow. What's funny is now I've had my MAGA hat and I've had this hat for a couple years now, and I haven't been wearing them any because I don't want to deal with any BS.
Right.
But since this impeachment crap, I've been wearing this hat every day. I've gotten more what's the word I'm looking for?
Support,
Yeah, more support. That's
encouragement.
A good one. Yeah, that. Anyway, more support than I have any negativity.
Yeah.
Now, I had one woman walk past me, kind of put her nose up in there, and it's like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I just looked at her. That's why I wear clothes. She just, she just kind of walked off that little snotty, I can't say the word, snotty look. I'll just leave it there. Trying to stay PC here, so.
I know it's tough on my channel, but I mean, I can beep it out. Just say what you want. I'll just,
That's all good. But that's why I keep hanging myself up. I was like, oh,
Well, I thank you guys for, because I really, because this is short notice, right? I mean, because I heard the podcast, I was like, you know what, I gotta get you guys back on, get you guys on, because I want you to explain that and say that, because that between the Groover and is it Groover? Did I say it right? Gruber, and
I'm rubbing off.
and the chess. That was great. So,
well, thank you. I've got to sit down and figure out what I'm going to talk about tomorrow night on my next podcast for episode 16.
Oh, goodness.
I have no idea what I'm going to talk about yet.
I'm always down for talking about food.
I was going to say Christmas is coming, so
yeah, that's going to be next week. That'll be episode 17. Will be Christmas. That'll be my Christmas special, and then following that will be the New Year's special. So
you mean I've got to see you through Christmas and New Year's too?
Yes, you do.
Oh my goodness! At least I like your wife.
That's a good thing she'll be there.
Good.
Yeah, I skipped the part of the day to do this video editing. I missed out on good food.
Oh man. Yeah,
but I'm committed.
You see, that was one thing beautiful about my episode 15. Like prior, we've always ended up talking about food on my darn podcast because Michelle likes to talk about food.
Well, I don't know much about politics. What else do you want me to talk about? I can talk to you about movies. I can talk to you about food. You want to throw some theory of relativity? I can use big words. I'm good with that.
but I finally got through a podcast without mentioning food. So I was happy with episode 15.
Why'd you ruin it?
Why? Because I was sick of talking about food. Not everybody wants to listen about me and my grill.
About 2,000 people have downloaded those episodes so far.
And now Noah's got number 15.
That's right.
15 just come to hit a brick wall.
And Kyle listened to number 15, and we are so happy for that.
You have one download.
We want more
2.5.
You average 200 episodes, you got one.
So yeah, I've got to sit down one day or tonight or tomorrow and figure out what I'm going to talk about tomorrow night. So it should be interesting.
Well, cool. I'm going to be up all night bringing this thing down, so I'm not getting the thing until it's done. So
And you got to work tomorrow?
Yes. I think I have about 70 clips of different things. For a 12-minute video, about 70 clips of screenshots and videos and stock footage, whatever. And
wow.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I will go ahead and say what I'm doing now because by the time this gets aired, it'll already be posted. The theme is what happened to Drudge, and I'm doing an expose on Drudge and what his deal is and why has he gone straight liberal.
Alrighty.
So anyway.
Alrighty. Well, I guess it's been an hour and 5 minutes. You want to wrap it up now, or keep going?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I would go, but I gotta get this thing done. So once you guys sign off, so what did you want to say? Where you guys can be found, Michelle? Where you guys can be found, and how you want to be contacted if you want to be contacted at all.
Okay. Well, I guess thanks for having us on your show. I appreciate it. You can check us out. Email us at sweatingbulletspodcast@outlook.com. You can catch us on facebook.com/woodies.sweatingbullets.1. You can also find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, PodoMatic, and Google Play. Just Google Sweating Bullets Podcast and you'll be listening to us in no time. So
and the link will be in the description in case you're lazy.
That works too.
We like links. Thank you.
Michelle, you want to say how where you can be found?
Actually, at the same places. Typically, I get emails at the Sweating Bullets Podcast at outlook.com. So if anybody's got any questions, comments, criticisms, I accept all of it. You can just email me there. Suggestions about topics for the show. Anything food related or non-food related, I'm good with that. So just throwing that out there.
She likes food.
I wanted to exclude you all, Woody, but you definitely come on board. But Michelle, if you want to do a movie show or a cooking, not cooking, but that's kind of no man part there for me.
You wouldn't want me to cook. I like to eat, not cook.
Discussion. No, scratch that. Movies, I'll do movies.
Okay, I like movies.
All right, I'll end before I embarrass myself too much more. So everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. My name is Kyle and Sweating Bullets Podcast, and thank you for coming on. And if you guys like the content on this channel, which you probably by now don't,
not with
you're getting negative reviews as we speak.
Yeah, I'll be shut down. I'll be shut down this time tomorrow. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And by all means, comment below. And until next time, I will see you guys next time.